Are we all cured? We got to fucking... We've got to do the fucking shit that we for fucking drug abuse. No! Are you listening?
Sean here, and we've talked about this guy being an abuser. There is a big telltale sign, I think, that gets overlooked. Mainly because what comes before it is usually the comedy or the shock. There's a specific voicemail that Lorne leaves that really shows, that really highlights what I'm talking about. Lorne Armstrong calls and leaves Winnie a voicemail message. And when your body's held, and he's singing Enough of Me, laying there on the floor or whatever, I'm gonna love you a little bit more. He says, I love you, baby, call me back, please. And that one, you kind of get a feel for it. But there's another one. The one that I think really shows he doesn't know what love is. He thinks love, yes, it's a commitment, but it's a 100% contract signed deal with the devil that you must, at all times, be connected. I believe Winnie is supposed to be at the airport. Either Winnie or Casey, because there's no context. I think it's Winnie. It's Lorne. It's the please get here saga when he is just so desperate. Please get on a plane. Please get here. I might finally see what a real vagina looks like and lose my virginity. Please get here. Baby, can you at least text me back? Let me know what's going on. It's on Raptor Bacon's channel. It's done masterfully to some classical music interwoven in between his psychotic ranting. But at the very end, after he's complaining, after he's demanding, he said, I love you, bye. This is proof. Obviously, he doesn't know what love is. And he also feels it's just something you say. It's not necessarily something you feel. It's not necessarily something you mean. It's just something you say. And to Lorne, if he can get to the I love you phase, he's done it. He's made it. And he can start that, say I love you, Lorne. He can start that desperate begging, please accept me, please love me. Would you just tell me you care about me? He doesn't get it. You don't tell somebody you love them after you go psycho. You don't tell them you love them after you abuse them. But Lorne does, because he doesn't know what it means. Think of him calling her on the phone. She's out with her friends. Think of Lorne calling her. Here's how it would go. Where are you, baby? I'm out with my friends. Oh, I can't deal with these kids. You need to come home, please. Lorne, I've been planning this for 3 weeks. There's someone that came in from out of town. I haven't seen them in forever. I'm trying to spend time with my friends. You need to get your ass back home now. I am with my friends. I'll be... No! Now! Now! Like he did with Ramona. I love you! And he hang up the phone. Angrily saying I love you. If you get somebody that tells you angrily that they love you, obviously you know they don't love you. It's a button. We've talked about a button. He did it with Kayla. When he's doing the whole grooming thing, gets to his regular routine, I love you. And then, I love you too. And then it just starts over and over again. I have no idea what Lorne was like when he was typing to Kayla. But we know he was annoyed. We know he was frustrated. We know he was paranoid. Especially about Derek, ex-Derek. If Derek was real, he would be the megastar of this Lorneography community. He'd be on every channel. People would be talking to him. People would be high-fiving each other like, oh, here comes Derek. Derek, come on in, man. And he'd be telling us about the time he put his arm around Kayla. We could call him DJ. We're all cool. But let's get back to Lorne. I think Kayla would have suffered most of all. One of the main reasons is the generational gap. It's hard enough for me to communicate with my daughter and know what's going on. When bougie and ratchet, you just sound like a complete tool if you're a parent and you're trying to talk your kid's language. I know a lot of people, they try to make it endearing, you know, they say it funny as a joke. And the kids are like, oh God, Dad, what are you doing? For some reason, it's more acceptable from moms. If you have a daughter, maybe it's a female thing, I don't know. But with my son, yeah, you're kind of into the same video games, you're kind of into whatever, you're kind of into this. It's easier to connect when you're a dad. Lorne will never connect with anyone. That is why with this generational gap, they don't have, I mean, come on. You ever heard of the Beatles? That's a sure sign right there. But that's not that big of a deal in the long run. He doesn't have any life experience. Kayla would never get any life experience. They would never have any shared experiences. They wouldn't go anywhere. There wouldn't be any core memories from the beginning of their relationship. No courting, no nothing. Because to Lorne, talking on the internet is courting. The I love you to her, it would become more and more aggressive because he wouldn't be able to communicate, as I said. And she would start to drift, and they would start to drift. Imagine those of you who have a boyfriend, girlfriend, or you're married. Imagine having zero in common. Some of you probably have zero in common except for great sex. High five. Whatever does it for you. But imagine having nothing in common and you're sitting at the dinner table and you're trying to have a conversation. Kayla is at work talking to other girls and boys her age. Lorne is at home. He doesn't have a job. So when Kayla comes home and she tries to talk about her work day, Lorne, he's not going to have anything to compare that to. He's not even going to understand what she and those other young people were talking about. And that scares him. She's going to have to quit her job. She's going to have to either stop talking about them and pretend they went away, because Lorne will probably show up at work just to remind them, hey baby, just showed up here to eat with you. Was thinking about you today. Yeah, that's an understatement. But it would be to establish dominance, to come in, piss in the corners. But Kayla would be so embarrassed with this bald-headed, weird-shapen, disgusting pedophile walking in with a hat on, big, fat, dirty white shoes. Hey, baby. Kayla probably wouldn't have nice clothes. They'd be going to Goodwill, like Lorne did, with those hilarious photos that Blue Boy thankfully put out. I don't mind shopping at Goodwill. I found suit tops there before, ties, pants. It's like a scavenger hunt and it's fun. But I think Kayla would be kept in rags. And I don't think she'd be allowed to have any job except maybe a cashier. But even that would be bad because she'd be able to talk to male customers. So Lorne, he wouldn't be able to truly say, I love you. He doesn't even have a mate that he could communicate with on any level. No common ground. So how can you possibly love somebody when there's no connection? Lorne can answer that question because it's a binding contract with him. I mean, if you were to go out, on one date, you've signed that deal with the devil that I mentioned before. Kayla, by chatting with him, signed a deal with the devil. I wondered at times if Lorne wouldn't have fallen in love with Sherry Twist and told her, well, we had all those conversations and it was real. There had to have been something real there. And instantly would tell her, Sherry Twist, I love you, baby. Call me back, please. I did for a while wonder if he was trying to find out who Sherry Twist was, how to get in contact with her. Because she showed him via a decoy, or whoever was making those decoy calls, if Lorne was actually trying to find out who they were. If part of his lawsuit, I didn't read it all, if there wasn't something in there at one time to get their names, Lorne would contact them. Hey, we talked over the phone. There must have been a connection. I love you. We've talked about him saying I love you in past videos. But there is a distinct difference between how quickly he falls in love and how he says it. He doesn't mean it. He's infatuated. He's obsessed. That is love to him. He is a stalker. He could stalk the stalkers. He'd be in a fight. He'd be screaming to get what he wanted. I love you. I love you. Now get out of here. That's not love, Lorne. So any woman that dared to go into his trailer, any woman that agreed to be a part of his life, he tells his mom, "I love you, mother dear." That's not even love. That's just, let me show you what a good guy I am. I love my mother. Yes, Lorne, and we've made videos, lots of videos about you and your mom. But you don't know what love is. I bet it would be hard, even for a mother, to love Lorne. I wonder if maybe she said it at one time, "I love you, son, but," and there's a condition in there. Lorne wouldn't put a condition because it bothered him. He probably hated it. And so maybe he doesn't want to say it, but I doubt it, because everything that was done to him in my past, he's done to people in the present. I don't understand how you can yell and scream and call people evil little cono, asshole, and every other name in the book, and then say, "I love you too much. I don't ever want to break up with you. I love you so much, I don't want you to cry." This is proof, obviously, he doesn't know what love means. He uses it as a tool. He thinks it's a weapon. He truly believes he's a catch and that if he leaves, they would suffer. If I asked him about the "I love you," he might think that it's something he can take away. If I took that away from them, they would be devastated. Do you want to lose me? Because you're on the verge after Ramona is telling him, "Yes, I want to lose you and go out with people in my own area and do things with people my age, not a balding pedophile, disgusting balding pedophile." I love using his own words against him. Fuck pathetic. So I don't think Lorne has ever used the word "I love you" and meant it. I don't think he loves his mom. I think he's obsessed with his mom. I think he's infatuated with his mom. He can't love. Love is a strong emotion. And you do things you normally wouldn't do. You sacrifice for people you love. Because you want them to be happy and successful. And you want them to get through life without hardships. So you'll give them money. You'll come over and help them. You'll be there for them emotionally. Lorne can't do any of those things. Proof positive of this is when Kayla is talking about her parents yelling at her, and she doesn't like it when big people yell. Lorne immediately goes back to his penis. He doesn't care about what's going on with the people he, quote, loves. He doesn't care what happens to them unless it affects him. And that's something we all agree on, is that unless it benefits him, nothing is happening. Unless giving somebody money benefits him, he's not doing it. Money doesn't mean anything to me. You don't have any money, Lorne. You don't even have a job. Well, why are you questioning me on this? Because if you loved us, Lorne, if you loved me, you would have a job so you could help support this family. That's proof that you love them. If you take a job you hate so that you could provide for your family, that's a sign of caring. That's a sign that you truly do love them. You're willing to sacrifice, but you don't know how to sacrifice. So you should stop using the word love. Maybe you should say, "I care about you," but we know that's not true. I care about you when you're doing things for me. I care about what you can do for me. I love when you do things for me. You don't love anybody, Lorne. My kid's stepdad loves my children, and he does a lot for them, a whole lot. And I'm grateful for it. And I've told him I'm grateful for it. Even the conditions in which they got together, I should hate him. In reality, I should hate my ex-wife. The lying and the deceit, but I can't, because she's the mother of my children, and she's so good to them. And the stepdad is so good to them. Now, the point I'm making is that Lorne ever became a stepdad to any children. Like, I think Casey had kids. I'm tired. I can't remember off the top of my head. I woke up sick this morning, and I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off about it. I'm royally pissed off. It's got to stop. But Lorne wouldn't be able to love those kids. As a stepdad, they'd be an inconvenience. And Lorne would be pissed because that's proof that there was another penis inside the woman he was with. And he would ask her every day if it was good enough. I know this is a little off topic, but you know, if a woman had kids, is mine good enough? Was his bigger than mine? What if she said yes? Then we're going to find out if Lorne is capable of love. Son of a bitch, you must still be in love with him. This is a guy who thought that Debbie was in love with Angelo because she wouldn't call him back, and Angelo brought her a cup of coffee. Cup of coffee? When you're on phone with me, when you know how much I hate him. He went psycho because he doesn't know what love is. He thinks that any woman is instantly going to fall in love. Now go back to Paula. The way this psycho terrorized her. Think about, she went back with the guy that she was separated with. Maybe they were even angry. I haven't gotten a definitive answer on if they were really broken up, or they were just pissed at each other and staying away for a little bit. And she went to visit some friends, and this, God, and he just happened to be there. Who knows? But he doesn't understand that just because you fight doesn't mean you're not still in love with someone. And I think he, maybe later on with Winnie, I mean, he was so desperate he didn't care, but maybe he remembered that, oh, well, Paula, you know, she was still in love. Maybe that guy cheated on Paula. I don't know. I don't know where Lorne got that from, but for some reason, in his head, he didn't understand that you could fight and still be in love with somebody. And he didn't understand that just because you split up, just because there's an argument, that you're not going to get back together. So I wonder, when he and Jamie Amy were, quote, taking a break, unquote, if he just thought that was normal. Or because of Will, I mean, the dude was jealous of a piece of plastic, the dildo. If he thought, even when they were just friends, he was still trying to control and be angry about who she was with, and they weren't even together. Hello, Paula. To him, love is obsession, and it will always be obsession. And I think he's a danger to every woman he ever comes in contact with, whoever shows him any kind of compassion, because he's going to say, I love you. He wants you to sign the deal with the devil, and that's, God help you. If you ever said, I love you too, Lorne, you're a good person. Even if it was platonic, you've made a mistake. You've signed the deal with the devil. You can never fall out of love with Lorne, because he will never fall out of obsession. He will never fall out of what he thinks is love with you. So you're doomed. I know Winnie loves me. I do know that. Lorne thought a catfish woman who treated him horribly loved him because he was obsessed with her, and he projects his obsession onto the women. So we know he doesn't understand what love is. We know that if he falls in love, as he calls it, with a woman, she's his forever, and he will never stop until he's made to stop, or they just change their number and disappear. If that happens, he will jump to somebody else, because without them, he realizes he is that loser. Like I said last night, he should not be portrayed as a lovable loser. He should be portrayed as an unlovable loser. That's my video for today. I love you guys. I will see you in the next one.